Alrighty, hello everybody, James Cards FC here. Thanks for checking out this video. Again, still in my not normal recording setup. If you hear any rustling, it's because I'm currently dog sitting, and if you hear any scratching or barking and things like that, that's why. I'm up in the top right hand corner over here. I set up this presentation specifically to try and keep myself in this top right hand corner. I'm running on one monitor, so I can't exactly see what it looks like right now, but hopefully I set up the slides in a way that'll make it okay. But I really wanted to talk today about, or tonight rather, about the May Heritage Auction that just happened and the results that came from that and what this might mean. So, title of this presentation, as you can see right here, is Grail Performance in the May Heritage Auction. Yikes, what happened and why? So, disclaimer, not financial advice, personal opinions to research. Challenge me on these. Do your own research as well. English, not my English is my main language. Any type of mispronunciations are because I'm a dumb American. Pops, prices, and general information on this topic could change dramatically by the time you see this video. We're looking at a snapshot in time in this video specifically. And again, please do your own additional research. So, let's start out. Let's start off with the Messi 71 biz in mid-high grade. I'm looking at the PSA 6 and the PSA 8 that both sold on this auction. So the PSA 6 sold for 2.5K and the PSA 8 sold for 8.6K. That would leave the PSA 6 at down $700 since it last sold, about a 20% drop, and the PSA 8 also down 20%. This is a $2,000 drop as it's a more expensive card. So, looking at the PSA 6 full pricing history that I pulled up here from Card Ladder on the right-hand side of the screen here, we can see that this red dot that I put on the graph shows where this sale, when it is finally reported, will end up in terms of the sales history. So, $2,500 right here. If you draw a line straight across, you can see that this is the lowest sale since the late summer 2020 bull run. The pop report I checked is going up by 3 per month in the current year. So my hypothesis as to why this dropped is that there's too much supply, plus the down market means there's less people looking for this card and less people willing to spend in the $2,000 to $3,000 range for this card. 3 of them are being added to the pop report every month, so those are 3 that need to find new homes if the person submitting it isn't just submitting it for their own personal collection. So in my opinion, what's going on here is there's just too much supply right now for what the market is going to be facing here in the near-term future. But, of course, I'm very optimistic on this card in the long run, but I can definitely understand why it's facing a correction in the short term and may even correct further as more get added to the pop report if this 3 per month rate keeps up, especially in the down market that we're seeing. So, Messi in high grade 71 biz plus Este sticker is our next section here. The Messi 71 biz in BGS 9.5 with 1.9 and 3.95 subgrades sold for $37,000, and the Este sticker in PSA 10 sold for around $45,000. That puts the 71 biz in BGS 9.5 down $18,000 or around 30% from its last sale, and the Este PSA 10 is down $75,000 or 60% from its last sale. Now, there's a lot going on with the Este PSA 10. The previous sale was really, really high at $120,000. In addition to that, since that sale, a lot of the Este stickers have come into question in terms of were they real, were they not real. So even in the case that this is an older slab, and so I didn't do my due diligence on this, but assuming that since this is an older slab, I'm going to go ahead and say this one's probably real. Even if that's the case, people probably are a bit wary of spending so much money on a sticker that has such narratives out there like it being possibly fake. So that's going into effect, as well as the general market downturn on that one. So that's how I would attribute the 60% drop here. With the BGS 9.5, I have this chart over here with the recent pricing history. It looks very similar to the PSA 6 that we were talking about. This is the lowest sale since the late 2020 Summer Bowl run. There are no new 9.5s in the pop report in the past year. The 9.5 is actually a pop 70. This was surprising when I learned about it. When I learned about this about 6 months ago. 70 actually seems like a lot for this card in a gem mint grade. So my assumption here would be that there's not enough buyers for this card right now in the market at 50K. So naturally it will have to drop as the people that wanted to buy it probably already have it, and the people that don't have it yet probably don't want to be shelling out 50K for it. They're comfortable to wait, or there just isn't any more buyers in that 50K range right now. 70 is a lot to sell through. And you can see with this number of sales, this is a lot of money that has to be spent on this card, so the demand just might not be there right now for it in our current market. Interesting point here, I also put up the Este PSA 9 that sold. This is flat if you go off the BGS 9 sale that just happened on PWCC in March. The BGS 9 was a 9, 9, 10, 10 subgrades. It went for 5K, so PSA 9 more or less could sell around there. You could say the PSA 9 should sell for more like 6 or 7K, but even in that scenario, it's pretty flat in comparison to what we just saw. So not much action going on there with the PSA 9. So we'll move on to the Zidane Rookie. This one is really interesting just due to how far down it's dropped in the recent history. So it's down $17,000. It sold for $24K. That puts it down 40% since its last sale. The last sale was on Golden in January. It sold for $41,000. And previously before that, it sold for $67,000 last October. So each time this has come to market, it has dropped another $20,000 or so. If this drops another $20,000 in the next auction, I will be the one that will be purchasing this, but I highly doubt that will be the case. So unfortunately for me, I will likely not be the next purchaser of this sticker. Anyways, so my assumption here is that there's not enough buyers for Zidane currently at 40K plus. The pool of people wanting this card right now in the hobby, I think, is fairly low. So I'll rephrase that. The pool of people wanting this card in the hobby is probably pretty high, but the pool of people that have the money to actually acquire this and want to buy it are very low, and that's what I say here. Very few people currently have interest plus the ability to purchase this sticker, so each time it comes to auction, the person that bought it at 40K probably doesn't want another one, even if it drops it down to 24K. The person at 67K that bought one probably doesn't want another one, but at 24K maybe they do. It just depends on what their motives are in the market. It'd actually be interesting if the same person bought all three of them. I don't believe that's the case. That'd be some extreme dollar cost averaging, and hats off to them if they're doing it. But yeah, that's my take on this, is that there's just not enough people in that price bracket that want to obtain this sticker in our current market. So we'll move on to Pele now. We have a couple slides for him. We'll start with the Heinerle. This was a mid-grade. This is a PSA 5, so not exactly a Grail card, but still a really nice piece. It sold for 2.5K, which is down 1.5K since its last sale on PWCC. About a 40% drop. You can see the last sale here. This was a PSA 5, but it had the top 15% eye appeal, so it sold for 4.7K. There was also an SGC 4 that sold for 3.6K. So I marked this in the middle of those two and gave it a 4,000 minus, yeah, and you can see how the math went out there. So without further explaining that, my assumption here and hypothesis is that there's many other Pele options in this price range. That is true. There's a lot that are taking some shine away from it. The Aquarela is one of them, but there are many Peles that are... Pele himself has many rookies, but there are a lot specifically in the 2 to 5K range that you can choose to go for. So just lots of options there in the 2 to 5K range, as well as the range above that when you get to more 5 to 10. So to me, it makes sense that in the current market, this is dropping given the downturn in the market. And again, the people have already probably purchased this card and don't really need a second one. And I just don't think there's that much demand in our current market to take up and find homes for all these cards at this point. So now we'll move into the Aquarela, which I just talked about, and then the Quigol. So the Aquarela, this one's actually been really picking up steam as the rest of the Pele's sort of drop. The PSA 3 is down about $1,000 on its last sale, but it's pretty high up there since 6 months ago or so. These have gone on a nice run, and in my opinion, it's easy to see why. This is a really iconic looking image. I would not mind adding one of these to my collection someday once I get more consolidation underway, but that's beside the point. Down $1,000, about 20% since its last sale at 5K. And then the Quigol PSA 4 is flat or so. It really depends on how you want to chop this up. So the PSA 4 sold for about 20 grand, and a PSA 5 most recently sold for 27 grand, and the PSA 4 before that had the S rating from PWCC, which makes it the top 5% of a 4, so really we're talking about something that's probably more like a 5 here that sold for 30K. So 20K for a 4 while a 5 is 27K makes some sense to me, so I'm going to call that flat. Feel free to disagree with me there, but I'm going to go ahead and consider this flat. In my opinion, what's going on here is that the Aquarela is the highest pop Pele rookie, so it's natural that it'll go down in price if there's a market downturn. That makes a lot of sense. But still, this is a really iconic picture, and so I have a little soft spot for this card, basically. But yeah, I understand what's going on here. There's just a really high pop on this, more getting graded, so not hard to see why that would drop, especially during a market downturn like we're in right now. And then the Quigol, it has historically been seen as a bigger Grail, and it also has a much lower pop, so it's, by fundamentals, you would assume this would hold its price better. It also comes up for sale a lot less because it has a lower pop, so a lot of things working in the Quigol's favor that aren't necessarily working in the Aquarela's favor here. All right, then I have this slide here, which is called Bonus Ultramodern Shenanigans. So in this same auction where we had all these low sales, we have this 2016 Select Messi gold insert number 10 out of 10. If you hear that in the background, that's my dog taking a drink, so ignore that the best you can. But this Messi gold number 10 of 10, PSA 10, it's probably a pop 1. It's definitely pop 1 in terms of it being number 10 of 10, sold for 30 grand. So you could have either bought this Messi right here or the PSA 9 sticker plus the Zidane PSA 9 highest grade rookie sticker as well. So my takeaway from this is that there's money willing to be spent on the soccer market, but the focus is clearly currently on the ultra-modern side as opposed to the pre-modern or vintage side. So interesting moment in time here. Make your own opinions based off that. I personally believe this is probably just a trend that we might see pass. Seems like it might be a good opportunity to shift your focus to something like this while the big money in general market is looking at stuff like this right now. But you can make your own conclusions from there and definitely do some more research before shelling out this kind of money on these things. So in conclusion, just a few points to talk about here. With all that being said, this could have been a one-off case. It's possible not many people are aware of this auction. Heritage is not usually where I think people would go to find some soccer grails. Usually you'd go to PWCC or Golden. You check eBay, but usually there's not grails there. But you get the idea. Heritage is not usually on your top list of places to visit. So possible that not a lot of people were aware of this auction. And I've anecdotally seen a lot of people saying that they regret missing out on this because of how low the prices got. So anecdotal evidence there, small sample size, but it's possible that this was just a one-off case. However, this could also be a sign of things to come. All markets currently around the world, I believe, are down, especially here in the United States. Crypto especially is down, and that's important for us here because crypto and cards usually correlate really well. When crypto is up, cards are usually up. When crypto is down, cards usually go down. We see that as a correlation throughout the past couple of years. So something to monitor there, as I believe there are a lot of people playing in both markets. So when crypto goes down, cards are probably likely to drop with it. So last point here, while the sky may feel like it's falling, many of these cards still have great long-term fundamentals, but you must be willing to ride the waves like this. So I'm going to talk specifically about the Zidane here for a second. It is currently a pop 5 in PSA 9. That is the highest grade. I personally doubt there'll be a 10 added to the pop report, and I think it's unlikely we'll see very many more 9s, if any, at this point. So with that in mind, we get to this point here, which is, do you believe in the next decade plus that there will be more than 5 people wanting that card above its current $24,000 price tag? That's the question you got to ask yourself if you want to be this in the long term. And basically, what we see from this video, and speaking specifically about the Zidane, if you don't believe in that card or the cards we showed in this video, you should probably leave this market because those are the cards and stickers with the best fundamentals in our pre-modern and vintage market. So those will move as the market moves. So if you don't believe in those, you probably don't believe in the market, and you should probably use this as your opportunity to get out before you probably think it's a scam and goes to zero. But I personally believe in these cards a lot. I personally believe in this market a lot. So I believe this is just a natural evolution of our market as we're going through the ebbs and flows. We're in a market downturn. We just had a market peak. So I still have a lot of confidence in specifically the cards like the ones we've seen in this video. So yeah, but if you do not believe in these specific cards and you believe these will continue to go down, I would suggest leaving the market, because if these cards are not faring well, the entire soccer market is probably not going to fare well. So I also put up this chart down here, which is the normal market trend chart. If you watch Andre Soccer Studies videos, he references this chart a lot. So at the start, you have this optimism phase, goes to euphoria. Everybody's pleased with their investments. This is the 2020 and 2021 bull runs. Then we get into this phase here as things start going down. People say things like it's only a temporary downturn. I'm in it for the long term. We saw this right after the peak. Then we come all the way down to this point. We were probably in here a few months ago. Market's not going in our favor. And now I would say we're really in this discouragement / dismay section here. In my opinion, we are definitely in a fearful market in terms of sports cards specifically, but the entire collectibles market is and the entire market as a whole really is in this sort of fear stage for a variety of reasons. But I would hypothesize that we're in this range right here, and so if we truly are, this is actually the best time to be investing, because at the outside of this, assuming everything's not a complete scam, we would then see this rise in optimism relief phase come back up. I have no idea when this is going to be. If I had to randomly throw out a guess, I would say once the global economy fixes, the war ends, if it does, and we get back to more of a normal pre-COVID life that we had before all the craziness that we've seen over the past 2 years, then things may start to right the ship and we would have our natural soccer market progression that we're all hoping for take us back to where we were in 2021 over the next decade or so. So that's my personal opinion. I'm sure you have yours, and I would love to hear about it in the comment section down below. But that is all I have for today's video. Once again, I thank you guys so much for checking out the channel. We just passed 200 subscribers a few nights ago, I believe. So I thank you so much for tuning into all these videos. Subscribe for some more. Leave a comment on if there's a specific topic you want me to cover, and I'll go ahead and put that on my schedule for videos to come out in the future. And thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.